Man, oh man, Budgie gets me hopping and popping every time, boss. How about you guys?
I love that intro. Yeah. What's nice about that intro is you can just take me right out at the end there. You know what I mean? Like you could easily just take that part right out and it'd be fine.
And we could be doing that tonight.
You know,
could be the last
This could be it.
Yeah.
We got a shit ton of merchandise we're gonna have to burn if shit don't go our way. Let me tell you that.
Look at that. I tried to butter you up tonight with
he's trying to kiss her ass a little bit.
My gear on today. I tried to butter you guys up with the outfit today. You know.
Yeah, it ain't gonna work, man. It ain't gonna work.
Or
there ain't
butter
no
the
second
chat up.
place.
Butter the chat up. That's what I'm gonna do.
You're gonna have to do something, man. You have to sweep the leg or something. We gotta get this on track.
Yeah, we can't let you get beat by a jabroni. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm not gonna.
He's just gonna talk shit about all the different competition real quick. It's fine.
Fucking jobbers out there beating you, man. We can't have that.
Wow. Jesus.
You just hit 1,000 subs, boys. We got to mention that. Garrett hit Born2BeRad 1,000 subscribers.
I mean, that's wild because that night, like, I was watching the show, and it was like, I forget what you were at, and then I woke up the next day, and it was like over 1,000. I was like, what the fuck? So, yeah. I think the midnight show put you over the top.
Who would have thought? I feel like every time I do those like late night streams, a lot of people are in there. So I asked on this chat like who's from where, because I don't know if we have a lot of like more people on the West Coast or whatever. But yeah, it just seems like that's always hopping at that time. So yeah, it was good, guys. Yeah, I woke up the next morning, I was like sick. So appreciate it.
Yeah. So we've got Phantaz Matt on here and Eric.
Yeah.
It's been a little while since you've been on here. Right?
Yeah.
Been a few months.
Missed out on the last several of these, so I'm stoked that you guys are doing one today.
What's up with that?
I just think it's cool you guys do this. Like, the reason I even subscribed to the Patreon was because I always thought it'd be cool to shoot the shit with the DEADPIT guys. So, it's awesome that you do these.
Well, this is a good opportunity because I don't think Metal Man knows about this tonight.
So. No, that may be the only way we get through one of these. So,
is that the drunk Pantera guy?
Yeah, that's him.
Yes, that's him. But yeah,
so
I mean,
you noticed last time though, before Joe got on there, I asked him. I said, "How many Pacificos have you drank?" Because I don't want you getting on here and talking about like some crazy out there shit. And I know like him and Metal Man do that. So yeah,
that's
thought it went okay considering.
Well, I think Joe is quite a bit better than Metal Man. So what the fuck?
Jaws, man.
Curly Jaws coming in hard.
He's making that YouTube money now. That's why.
You guys do a commentary. No, it's a request. This is. He's wanting the Fright Night remake.
Thank God, you take your $50 and go wipe your ass with it. I ain't doing the Fright Night remake. That's like saying do the Fog remake or something.
Actually, you know what? I'm down for the Fright Night remake because I only saw it once in theaters, and I didn't like it, but I'm curious to see what I would think about it now, years later.
I'm down for it just because I'm a money whore. So
that'll be. Let me tell you something. That'll be YouTube.
I don't care.
You two can do that because I watched that movie again about 3 or 4 months ago, and I don't think I ever want to subject myself to that again. So that'll be a good one for you all. Okay. Fucking Fright Night remake.
Yeah, but Old Curly Jaws, man, we appreciate it. The $50 super chat. But guys, this is kind of an open mic night. Whatever the hell you guys want to talk about, questions in the chat, just pretty much anything. It's kind of not really formatted in any way. Just kind of a, like Eric was saying, just shooting the shit.
What did you guys think of the Scream movie, the most recent one?
I liked it. I only saw it that one time. I haven't revisited it yet. I have the 4K Steel, but I haven't opened it or anything. But on my first watch, I thought I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was.
I know you beat it.
I didn't.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was decent. I got that Steelbook too, and I haven't watched it again, but I mean, I liked it better than Scream 4, and that was pretty much all I was asking for. So,
yeah,
you know, not gonna blow your hat off, but I thought it was decent.
I mean, I think it's very important on a movie that's made today that your expectations are really, really low, and that's what mine are going into most of these movies. But yeah, I mean, I definitely thought it was an improvement over Scream 4. I can definitely say that. The original trilogy, probably not. I like those movies better.
I thought it was hot trash. I don't know how else to say it, really. Like, I mean, every franchise movie I saw this year, I just thought it was horrible. Like Halloween, Scream. Yeah. What was the other one?
Halloween was a big disappointment.
Texas Chainsaw.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah.
Because Halloween 2018 it's a pretty good movie, like, overall. So
yeah,
had high hopes for the sequel. The whole, like, Anthony Michael Hall character was just like, it took you out of the movie. It was so ridiculous. And, like, the mob at the hospital and stuff, it's just like no one would behave that way, even in a movie. It's just ridiculous. What is that shit they kept saying, like, evil dies tonight or whatever? It's like, oh my god, again? Like, awful.
Yeah, that's like a chance.
Pretty good though. Like, for Scream 5, it was about as good as it could be. I thought, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, that was the best horror reboot franchise movie. I think that out of all those, Scream was the best in my opinion.
And they're already fast tracking a sequel to it,
yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm fine with it. It is what it is. And like I said, my expectations going in was not that high anyway, but it was fine.
Was it though? Was it?
I think. Well, spoiler alert here.
Yeah,
I thought it was fine. I mean, I'm not a big fan of 3. I'm not a big fan of 4. So for what we got, I was like, all right, it works for me. I don't know what else they could do.
I know some shit they could do.
Not do it?
Well,
not number one, don't fucking do it. But number 2, if you're gonna do it, I think it should have been. I've told you this. I think it should have been Sydney. Should have been the killer. They should have killed her fucking ass off. That should have been the way that went out. And then in the next one, they could bring in all new cast and just fucking stop with all the nonsense. They can't do that though because they rely on marks like us to keep coming back to these fucking Scream movies. So they can't kill off the original cast or anything. I mean, not the main original cast, I guess.
I think it would have made more sense had they, instead of Dewey, it was Sydney that got killed off. That's what I would have done.
I just don't know how long they can pull these off. Like I would rather them have stopped at 5 and just let it be. I have a bad feeling going forward. It's like playing Russian roulette with these movies.
Yeah, I don't think Scream 6 is necessary at all. I mean, like, I think it was, who said it, Wes maybe, or Uncle Bill, they said maybe having Sydney to be the killer, and that kind of ended it all, kind of just went full circle. I guess that would have made a lot more sense because it was kind of random this time around, and, I don't know what they do going forward. I really don't at this point.
I mean, of all those movies, too.
Could be the killer in Scream 6. Be a good one.
Of all those movies, like, to me, I don't want them to go anywhere with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't want them to even, like, I don't want that series to continue in any shape or form. For Halloween, like, the last one in that series, to me, it's got to be better than the second one. I mean, it's got to be. Like, no matter what they do, if they slow it down, if the tone is different, like, that movie is bound to be better than Halloween Kills. And for Scream, I don't know what the hell they'll do. Like, that one to me is the biggest mystery, because they can't just keep bringing back the same. That poor woman has been stalked through 6 movies at this point. I mean, I would just hide. I would fucking go, like, in a bunker or something at that point. Like, if somebody's that intent on murdering you 6 different times.
Yeah, someone made a good point in the chat. They think Matthew Lillard's going to be in this one, which I guess kind of makes sense because a lot of people were kind of bummed out that he wasn't in this next one, and they could have made a huge swerve and had him survive and be the killer at the end, and I think it probably could have put a nice close to this whole story, to be honest.
That would be cool if they brought him back. They also teased, there's like an Easter egg in it where they tease that I think the character's name's Kirby from who was like kind of a likable character and made like some Suspiria references and stuff, if you remember from Scream 4. They basically said that she survived, so that would be cool if they brought her back too, I think.
That was one of the best characters throughout that franchise.
Yeah,
really.
I agree.
Yeah, didn't she
Really
quit
likable
acting though?
character.
Like she what was her name? The actress.
Hayden Panettiere.
Yeah, I think she married a sheik or something like that, didn't she? Or
she married the dude. She married Vladimir Klitschko, the fucking boxer that's from Ukraine.
Oh yeah, boxer.
So that'd be interesting.
Well, I knew it was. Yeah, it was some rich foreign guy.
What they did with Skeet Ulrich was pretty good too. Like
I like that part. Yeah,
they did that really well.
He's like the Obi-Wan Kenobi in Empire Strikes Back. Just shows up in the fucking. Yes, you must.
Adam 80s fan
whatever,
says that
whatever he was saying.
That Garrett looks like an extra from the Breaking movies tonight.
Hey, I'll take it, man.
That's actually a pretty good compliment. Yeah.
I'll take that, yeah.
And a couple of people were asking us about the movie X, if we have watched it. We have seen it, but that was one of the reviews that we want to do, I think, later on this week. That was a requested review. If you guys want to talk about it, though, you can.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I really liked it a lot, honestly. I hate to be the A24 nerd, but seriously, like... I thought that it was really fun, and I almost expected it to be a little bit more on the intense side rather than on the comedic side, but I wasn't disappointed in it or anything. It's pretty easy to see where the story is going to go after a certain point, but I'll definitely say I did not expect the post-credits thing at all, and that's like that. When has that ever been done? When has a director lined up 2 movies secretly? And, I guess we're going to be getting that second one this year. So I'm going to guess maybe around October that'll come out. And if it's any indication, based on how good I thought X was, I'm assuming that the prequel is going to be awesome as well. So, I mean, I don't know.
Speaking
I think a lot
of
of people
Scream,
would have fun with it.
Nice shirt.
Oh, thanks, man. What's up, guys?
What's up, Anthony? What's up, dude?
It's the man.
What's going on? Yeah,
Anthony,
you guys.
let's talk Resident Evil. What's going on, dude?
You guys are just not much, man. You guys are just talking about X. Yeah, that was I just enjoyed that. That was one that kind of caught me by surprise with how much I liked it, checking it out. So.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I liked it. Oh, sorry, man.
No, I was just saying he was the one that requested us to review it and sent us a copy.
Okay.
Well, we were allowed to use it.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah,
He sent us a copy.
Instead of spending $20, maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's $20 rental, or if you got good friends. So.
What's the disc look like? I want to see what the disc looks like.
Yeah, show him the
It
disc.
was a special screener copy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's definitely one that we'll have to do like a deep dive on when we review it. I think, like I said, we're going to do it later on this week sometime. That one,
I'll say,
oddly enough, basket case, which is
yeah. I'll say this for certain. Like, I'm really, really picky about horror films, clearly, but I was amazed how much I actually liked that movie. It just has, like, it's made in a different era or something. He's always been good at that. I mean, House of the Devil and all that shit. Like, I mean, it always looks like just the way he's able to.
Is amazing, right?
Yeah, I mean, the cinematography.
I don't even like that movie that much, but the look of it and the style of it is wonderful.
I think the thing with House of the Devil that a lot of people think is it's really atmospheric. It's really great. The story, for me, it just comes to that conclusion so quick at the end, and it's like all this build up for maybe a 10-minute ending, and then you're like, oh, that's it. Like, I think it could have been a little longer, maybe, or just they could have handled the ending a little bit better.
You got to admit, though, the dude is one of the best at, like, getting everything to a point, like the tension, and just, like, there's always one scene in all of his movies that I've watched where, like, everything's just going along really, really slowly, and then it shit just, like, some bonkers scene comes out of nowhere, and you're just like, what the? And then you're just paying attention to the whole rest of it, and then, like, all hell breaks loose after that. Like, in House of the Devil, I remember watching that the first time, and there's just that scene where, in the car, and they're just, the woman's just sitting there, like, she's talking or something like that, and just comes up, like, a fucking gun and all that, just out of nowhere. Yeah. And from that point on, I was like, wow, this is, because you don't really know what to expect. I like a director that's willing to kind of completely take you off guard and do something like that's just insanely violent like that to get your attention.
Yeah, I think that him and Ari Aster kind of have a similar vibe when it comes to, slow burn, but then all of a sudden, like, there's one scene in the movie that takes place that it just shifts the whole movie. And I feel the same way about, like, Midsommar and, like, Hereditary as well. Like, you can pinpoint that one scene that everything just changed. And, I like X a lot. I can't wait for the prequel. And, I agree with everything Matt said. So definitely recommend it if you guys haven't checked it out yet.
Garrett, did you see Everything Everywhere All at Once? I see you got the poster there.
No, haven't seen it. Everybody keeps telling me how great it is, but I have not seen it yet. But like I said, I get hookups with movie posters, so I made sure to grab it just in case it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I have not seen it yet. Surprisingly, I don't think it got a very big theater release because the closest theater to me that has it is like a small independent, like 5-screen theater, and it's not at like AMC theaters or Cinemark or whatever, anywhere around here at least. But that movie apparently is now the highest rated film on Letterboxd of all time, and it's only been out for, a month? Something like that.
I haven't heard anything negative about it. Everything I've heard, it was like, you got to see it. Like,
it looks pretty trippy. So, it looks like one of those, like, trippy movies. So I'm like, all right, well, it's like, I don't know how to. I was trying to actually go see it at my Cinemark because that's the theater I prefer over here in South Jersey. But like, no screenings, like no showtime. So I was like, what the hell? Like, I don't like going to AMC because then I get like hair on my popcorn and it's like a whole shitty experience. So I'd rather like go to Cinemark, and like when that theater doesn't have it, I'm just gonna wait. I'll just wait for it or whatever to check it out. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it though.
Yeah, I mean, the way it is now, it's way cheaper on you just to wait because it's going to be on one of these streaming services a lot quicker. You know, the new Batman movie was already on. What was it? HBO Max.
HBO,
or something
yeah.
like that.
Did you watch that yet, Wes?
No, the new Batman movie. No.
Yeah.
Get 3 hours ready.
not.
You're
It's
ready.
pretty good.
That's a big investment, boss.
When did Batman become like the godfather of fucking like superhero movies?
Yeah, I don't
They've
know.
always got to be like 3 hours long almost.
Dude, it flies by though. Like it goes.
I've heard it's great. Yeah, I mean,
it's really like a crime drama, but just with Batman as the protagonist. You know, it's very dark, kind of like a film noir type vibe to it. I know I'm not like a superhero movie fan, really, but that it's pretty good. But it is 3 hours, so make sure you got some free time.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to those long ass movies, like I don't know, I just never get around to watching them. Like it's just like I see that running time, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know.
I think it's like harder to watch some of that stuff sometimes at home because you can get distracted easily. So it's like a long movie, so you're like pausing it, you're going up to go to the bathroom, this and that. Like sometimes seeing something like that in a theater is a little bit easier because you're just like, you're not on your phone, you're not on like all this, there's not all these distractions. So sometimes I feel like that affects people's opinions of movies sometimes when it's like long or like, I don't know. It's sometimes I think experiences work better in there. So I checked out Batman in the theater. I didn't think it was that bad. I just didn't really. I was always a Nolan trilogy guy, and like I still am. I'm gonna be that guy. Like I love the '80s ones too, but like I still liked what Nolan did a little bit better. Like I thought the Riddler in this was a little weak in my opinion. Didn't really gel with it well. I get what they were doing with the whole Zodiac thing and like all that stuff, but didn't do it for me. But I thought it was a decent film. I want to check it out again on HBO Max just so I can like get a kind of second opinion because I really am a Batman fan, but I was just like, for me. But everyone seems to like it, so
I'm a lot more likely to see it on HBO Max. That way I can watch half of it one night and half of it the next.
It works better, right? When it's that, it's just like you can break it up in the sessions like that.
I think they have it on HBO Max, like with Dolby Vision and stuff too. So like, if you have a nice TV, like you'll have a better experience than you would in most theaters anyway.
Yeah, HBO Max streams look incredible. Like every time I stream from that service, that's the one service I do pay for, and like the quality is always great.
Cool. So another movie there was a couple people asking about a little bit earlier, just to get everybody's opinion on. I don't know if we've done one of these since the Netflix Texas Chainsaw movie came out. What did you guys think of that?
I'm a bad fan and haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it either.
That's for the best.
Well, you guys,
I don't really have.
But from
You
what
make
I've
quality
heard about it, I'm not missing much. So.
Yeah, I don't really have motivation to watch it. Like I really don't know. Like, I don't know.
I mean, it's weird because I feel like I didn't enjoy it. I did a stream with Wes right after he watched it. He didn't really enjoy it either, I guess. But I feel like we're definitely in the minority. I feel like when it comes to this movie, it seems like every other person that I know like loved it, and I still have a tough time with it. I only saw it that once, but I don't know. It's gory and the kills are good, but I don't think that's enough to bring a movie to what I need it to be. I guess, especially from this franchise.
I think it barely passes as like a movie that you would put on like with a bunch of people over and just kind of have on in the background. Like I don't even feel like in that setting it would be enjoyable. It's just boring.
I'm not sure how the hell it would be enjoyable, really.
That's just my opinion, though.
I hear you. I feel the same way, but it is very interesting because when we did the review, we were like, I'm like, I don't see anybody liking this. I just didn't find anything to like about it besides the kills, and it come to find out a lot of people really liked it.
I want to be sending out too. We were talking about this could be Garrett's very last simulcast with us, the Born2BeRad DEADPIT Mega Power could be they're exploding here like WrestleMania 5. So I've got a link I posted in the chat. You're up for best horror YouTuber of the month of what, April? Or is it May?
April.
It's for April. So I did a tinyurl.com/vote 2BERAD. If you guys would all go and vote and make sure that he wins and is not beaten by Jabroni. That would be good.
God,
Wow.
damn.
Wow.
If he
All
doesn't
the
win,
competition is trash.
If I don't win, they're
Competition,
kicking me out, and then
motherfucker.
I'm gonna
Get
start my
beat
own
by
company.
you got get beat by a son of a bitch that's got 60 subscribers. That can't happen, Garrett.
God.
hey, I am getting my Cannibal Holocaust DVD ready for that commentary that he has to do.
That's the only way I'm allowed back in.
Yeah, Cannibal
I have
Holocaust commentary.
my eyes
maybe.
pinned open like this.
Yeah,
You
like
could just watch
Clockwork
the
Orange.
animal friendly version that they had on that DVD or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll tell him that's the version, and then you'll see that poor
Make him
turtle
watch it.
going like this.
No, it's not.
Oh my god!
He's got to watch the PETA cut.
Yeah.
I'm not
That was
kidding.
the
Though.
end of
Like-
it. I don't like
Wait, how'd that turtle go again? Just one more time.
Just to piss some more people off.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
That needs to be your next super chat thing. Just have that come up when you get a super chat.
Oh my god!
What's going on in here? It's like him doing this.
Oh gosh. No, but I'm not kidding. The first time that I saw that, because early days of the internet, there wasn't a whole lot that you could find out about those cannibal movies. And there was one that I saw at a very young age, which ended up being Make Them Die Slowly was what the video was called. So it was Cannibal Ferox on DVD.
Yeah.
And I just searched for Cannibal DVD. It was like the first year I had a DVD player. And it was a bootleg DVD of Cannibal Holocaust. And I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what was on it. Had no idea about the animal deaths and all that. And it really fucking freaked me out. But I wasn't like Garrett in that I never did want to watch it again. I did want to watch it one more time with Uncle Bill there. I had to see his face when he saw it. So
Genuinely one of the most unsettling movies ever made. Except for maybe Salo. Which, speaking of which, Garrett, that'll be how you get back in. You have to watch Salo and do a commentary over it.
At least I own Ferox and Holocaust on DVD, like those Grindhouse ones or whatever. But I don't own Salo. I don't know.
Salo, I guess it is.
I have Solo. I've never watched
Solo.
it.
I have.
I mean-
I have an original. I don't know what year Ferox came out, but I have the original, like, one sheet for that, the Make Them Die Slowly one sheet, and that movie's not as intense as Cannibal Holocaust is. It's a little bit more goofy, but that's one of my favorite posters of all time. The Make Them Die Slowly poster is just like, I mean, that's like typical quintessential Grindhouse artwork.
Something you see at 42nd Street, just like plastered on the wall, whatever. It's just like shit. That looks awesome.
Yeah.
It looks killer.
Well, and the cool
It looks
thing
like
was
that's
back in the day, video store, and I think Garrett mentioned this would be a cool topic to get into, like video store memories and all that. I don't know, we may do that a little bit later, but the Make Them Die Slow, that was the difference between like Blockbuster Video and just a mom and pop video store. Because back in like the late 80s, early 90s, it was untelling what the fuck you would find at some of these mom and pop stores, because there were so many of those little labels, like Prism, you had Vestron, you had, Lightning Video, Wizard Video, and a lot of that stuff you wasn't going to find it at a major chain, major retailer like Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't really have a lot of mom and pop video stores here. We had a few, but at the time it was called Major Video before Blockbuster took it over. We had a couple of those. We had another one called like Superman Video, and it was but not much else. Like you didn't see them as much as you did, but they would sell like a lot of VHS tapes and stuff, and like pharmacies and stuff where you can rent them and all that stuff like that. But so there was not a lot of those mom and pop shops like you guys are talking about here. At least I can remember growing up.
Yeah, Hometown Video was mine. That was around here. It was like it was a couple locations, but my parents just never went to Blockbuster because they're like, oh no, it's too expensive and you got to do memberships and all that crap. And I never understood that when I was like younger. I was like, what? Like, all right, well, we're just going here then. And then that's kind of where I discovered the horror VHS section, and that pretty much changed the game for me. So.
I think one of the funniest things about that time period for me was that they had video rental stores in like grocery stores at that time.
Yeah.
Like Food City had a video rental. Like every store you went into, in one way or another, they would also do VHS tapes. That's how popular that crap was at that time. Like you go into a gas station, there'd be VHS tapes. You go into a fucking, grocery store.
I always remember the video store section, like Kroger and Winn-Dixie and shit, always sucked. Like it was terrible.
It did. Yeah.
Like they would have like Dorf Plays Golf or something like that in there, and like old, just whatever, workout VHS tapes, stuff like that, like old stuff. I always remember that.
Our Kroger had the place where you could drop your kids off while you shopped, and it had like a TV and like a PlayStation or Nintendo or whatever, GameCube, and it was just like, I just have a weird memory of seeing that. It's just kind of weird.
Where did that idea go? That'd be amazing. Here, get over there. Play some shit.
Sam Neill is back in the chat calling me out again for not liking him. Fuck you, Sam Neill. I still hate you.
I brought this up on a chat a long time ago, and if anybody in the chat or you guys know, man, it's I swear it wasn't a dream. I remember driving by my major video, I think at the time, and I don't know what Elm Street it was, but there was a cardboard cutout of Freddy Krueger, like with his arms, like both arms, like really long, like in part one, and he was like going, basically his arms felt like it went across like the whole place, and then he was in the middle. And it was the first time I'd ever seen that character in my life. And I can remember as a kid being like, oh my God, who is that? And my mom told me that his name was Freddy Fingernails. And like, to this day, I've tried to find that like display piece, like somewhere, like I put like, video store Freddy Krueger display piece. And I have never found it ever again. And part of me feels like I was dreaming, or like I didn't remember it correctly, but I swear it was just, I remember him with the long arms and just being up in the air, hanging from like the ceiling.
That's cool.
Anybody who knows that or anything about it, I'm just curious to know, because I've searched high and low for that thing for years and haven't seen it.
I would ask Felcher or Don May, because I know Don May did the old Laserdisc for Elm Street, and he may have seen some of that stuff working on that back in the day. It's possible. The only thing I can think of with the long arms was the VHS box set that came out, but that was a little bit later, that had the long arms on the spine.
Yeah, exactly around 99, right? I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely when I was little, because I remember her telling me Freddy Fingernails, so I didn't know who the heck he was at the time.
Carter Denchen, a $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. What horror VHS covers freaked you guys out as a kid? For whatever reason, Howling 5 and Extro 2 petrified 7-year-old me.
One for me, it was the the It miniseries, like that VHS cover. I saw that and I was that messed me up for a little bit. That was like, okay, I would have dreams about that cover, and I didn't even know what the movie was, to the point where I guess like I had to build myself up to finally watch it. And then when I watched it, I was just like, okay, like that's what I was afraid of. But like it was just more just the cover before I even saw it just really messed me up until I had to like build up the courage to watch it, with my dad. But
I have a really vivid memory of the Return of the Living Dead Part 2 VHS cover for God knows what reason. I just remember it was in one of those, it was in a pharmacy where they rented tapes, and they had a copy of that movie for whatever reason. And I just remember thinking like, so I probably was like 7 or 8 maybe. And I was thinking like, oh, there's like a kid in an R-rated like violent horror movie, and for some reason that just, I don't know. I have a really vivid memory of that for whatever reason. Just stuck with me my whole life. And then when I saw the movie later, I'm like, oh, it's kind of a goofy flick. It's like not like that at all.
Yeah,
it's really silly.
The least scary movie of all time, maybe. But that movie freaked me the fuck out when I was a kid. No joke.
Yeah, when you're a kid, right?
I mean,
so now it's
just
like
terrified
now I
me.
just watch the Michael Jackson like zombie thing. And it's hilarious.
That part where he gets electrocuted. But in the movie, the part that scared me when I was a kid was that the bully was a zombie who was like chasing after the other kid. That part always like horrified me. Just like the idea of like a kid zombie like trying to kill somebody. But anyway.
It's a pretty fun movie, actually. I revisited it not that long ago. It's pretty fun. Like, it's not the best movie. It certainly doesn't hold a candle to the original, but
no,
it's pretty good.
No,
it's a lot better than 4 and 5 that came out.
Most people
to the grave and
Necropolis.
The third.
Most people don't even know those exist.
With Melinda Clark.
I like the third one too. I like the original trilogy.
Yeah. There's a great interview on that disc too that Felsher did with Melinda Clark. That's really good. If you haven't checked it out.
Isn't that an odd movie though? We never reference that movie, but the idea of that movie is basically like it's a love story, I guess, so to speak. But that she's into like S&M, like Hellraiser style, like S&M as a zombie. And kind of like isn't it something to do with the pain, like distracts her or something like that? So she like hooks all this stuff up and
keeps her mind off the brains.
Yeah, that's such a batshit insane like movie, really.
What about you, Matt? Though, what's some VHS covers back in the day that freaked you out?
See, I don't know if I was necessarily freaked out. If I was scared, I was equally as intrigued by a lot of them, and that's probably similar to a lot of people that got into horror movies. Like, you're scared of it, but at the same time, it's just like you can't look away, and you're want to go in the horror aisle every time. Yeah, right. So my favorite covers and most memorable are definitely Child's Play 1, 2, and 3. I think those cover arts are fantastic, especially the original art for the first one where it's like where he's like holding the knife up like that, kind of staring down into the at you, or basically. And so 1, 2, and 3, I rented those numerous times on VHS. Monkey Shines was another one that stood out, like just looking at that and thinking, what in the world is this? Like, you actually think there's a toy monkey in the movie or something like that.
That one always creeped me out too.
Our local like independent shop actually had I love that movie. And we also had I remember seeing I Spit on Your Grave at the local rental place too, and for obvious reasons that one kind of sticks in your head for the rest of your life. But I'd say probably the Child's Play 1 through 3, and Bride of Chucky too. I mean, that was like a pretty cool cover with the double face on there.
Yeah, that's a movie that's grown on me quite a bit too.
I think I was just kind of Bride of Chucky. Yeah, it's been quite a while since I've seen that. I got to get back on that. I watched Seed of Chucky whenever you guys did that commentary, and that was a waste of time.
Yes, it was.
Not a waste of, just I don't like that movie at all. It's so terrible.
It's not very good. That opening sequence is pretty cool, but the rest of it just doesn't work very well.
I'd forgotten how boring that movie is. Just trying to hang on through it. Jesus.
It's rough.
It's just disappointing too, because Bride of Chucky is a pretty strong movie. So you go from that to Seed, and it's just,
Yeah, but for the VHS covers, I don't know. I guess, just the Child's Play ones were the ones that always stood out to me, and I've gone and like looked for them online and actually purchased them to have them just because they were that influential to me back then.
Yeah, some VHS covers, though, for me, real quick, that popped into my head would be the Blob Remake from when I was a kid. That really freaked me out. And someone mentioned, oddly enough, Faces of Death. I think it was Faces of Death Part 2. It was in a red clamshell case. And it was a surgeon with a, with blue surgeon outfit on, and it was like a skeleton or something. He had a scalpel. Yeah. I always remember that one freaking me out. And The Forest, oddly enough, was another cover that's the VHS. I always loved the artwork for that, but it did kind of mess with me a little bit.
The Blob remake for me definitely was one that stood out too. I remember seeing that cover. I actually, funny enough, I met Kevin Dillon a few months ago, and I had him sign my Scream Factory Blob Blu-ray. You probably thought, like, who the fuck is this guy with a Blob Blu-ray? But he signed it.
Hey, man. If I met Kevin Dillon, I'd be having him sign something from the Blob too. No doubt.
He was cool. No, he was cool about it. Yeah. He's a nice guy.
I tell you, I don't know if the scariest or what, but the most memorable ones for me were Basket Case, Evil Dead, and probably the Video Dead. I thought the Video Dead had like a much more amazing cover than the movie actually was.
Yeah, for sure.
The cover is like insanely good. The movie itself is maybe not so much, but yeah. But the Evil Dead, I mean, that's one of the most iconic ones I can think of still.
Evil Dead 2, though, was the only one I can remember seeing.
Evil Dead 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I remember my video store also had Motel Hell, but they had it in this like old ass VHS. Like that was the one that was in the. I don't know if it was in. I just remember it being so standout on the shelf. I was like, "What the hell is that?" And then I didn't watch it until like years later on TV. But like I remember that stuck out to me because I was like, "This VHS box." I think it was just. I don't know if I'm remembering it wrong. I just don't remember the releases, but I just remember it being like standout, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then the cover and everything. I was just like. That and House was another one. House was another one that stuck out to me.
A couple for me that not necessarily I was scared, but again, it was intrigued. But I think Return of the Living Dead, the original one, I remember that like very, very, very like strongly. And that one I kind of was a little freaked out with because of the skulls like on the side of the grave, and they had the punk look or whatever. Obviously, Monkey Shine. So I'm glad Matt brought that up. That was definitely one. The Gate was another one for me. It was just more curiosity, like what could this be? Ghoulies was one that for sure, like when I saw that, I was like, what is this? And another one that's weird that it didn't freak me out, but I always remembered it was the cover for American Gothic.
That's a great one.
With the lady and the guy like in front of the farm or whatever. And I always remembered that cover, and I actually never saw that movie until way later. But I always remembered that cover for sure.
Here's one for you guys though. What is the best cover for the worst movie?
Oh man. Ooh.
One pops into my head immediately. It's probably not the worst movie. I mean, it's not very good. It's pretty shitty from what I can recall. But the cover is great, and it's like a classic. It's a staple from the 80s. Return to Horror High with the cheerleader, the skeleton cheerleader, and all that.
That's a good one.
I think that was kind of an epic one, and that movie's the shits.
Man, I don't know, but that's a good question, man.
I know. I've never seen the movie, but I don't. It might be good or it might be bad. Student Bodies. I really like the cover to that. I don't. Maybe it's a bad movie, but I haven't seen it yet. With the girl on the desk.
It's not good at all.
The cover's way better, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really cool cover, but I'm gonna have to think on that because I'm blanking.
I'll tell you one, and we just fucking talked about this movie. Chud 2. Bud the Chud. It's got an amazing cover that has absolutely nothing to do with the movie itself. I'm not entirely sure why, but like the cover is badass. And nothing in the cover is in the actual movie.
Yeah, I'm convinced that the cover was made before the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's plenty. I mean, from back in the video store era, because a cover would only cost what, $5 $500 or $600 or whatever to make probably back then. So they could make, hire an artist and make it look like the greatest thing ever. And the movie is just, like I said, the shit. So there's plenty of them.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another one that I don't know if they use the video artwork, this for the video artwork, but it was Revenge of the Dead. You remember the poster art?
Yeah, well, you used that for some flyers. We did back in the day.
I still use it occasionally. It's amazing zombie artwork with the zombies busting out of the pavement or whatever on the front of it. And that movie, I don't know if I've ever watched that movie, but I've heard it's absolutely terrible.
Somebody on here brought up, I think this was earlier too, Mountaintop Motel Massacre, which is a fucking amazing cover that's also a horrible movie.
I don't even remember. I know I've seen it, but I don't remember it.
It's got the old woman like with the bloody handprint, like hold on to the side of the banister or whatever. It says something like "Don't disturb Evelyn. She's out of her mind" or something like that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I always thought the cover for Fear.com was pretty neat and kind of creepy, but that movie is. I don't really have very clear memories of that movie at all. But
yeah,
I
forgot about that one.
Yeah, that one was cool. Bad Taste has a pretty funny cover. Not the best movie, but it's pretty interesting.
Terror on Tour. I don't even think that cover's that good.
It's not. Nothing about that movie is good, including the cover.
The cover is better than the movie, but not by much.
Well, the new Hard Rock Zombies cover is sick on that new disc.
Yeah.
My computer's going to shut down here in a second.
I always like the Sleepaway Camp 2, I think, cover where
we've got someone else joining us, folks.
Woman with the backpack.
What's up, guys?
Got, like, the glove and the mask.
Love that. Yeah.
What's
up, man?
What's up?
What up?
What up?
Stuntman Mark. Finally.
Making my day.
We almost got the Brady Bunch going on here.
Yeah, we just need a couple more.
Yeah, it's smaller and smaller at the.
So, Mark,
Right,
any particular VHS covers you remember growing up?
Let's see. One that I thought was really cool, and the movie turned out to be trash, was Driller Killer. You guys remember that?
Oh, yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah, like it looks like this gnarly, slasher, but it turns out to just be, basic crap. So
it's incredibly low budget,
Yeah.
Somebody brought up a good one too, Bloody Murder. Remember those ones?
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Those were deceiving though, really, because they looked, like badass slasher films by the cover, but they were actually the worst, like Jason rip-off movies of ever.
Did they ever re-release those, or is it still the DVD? Like, I know they had DVD versions, I think.
That's it. That's something I'm surprised nobody's grabbed and just put out like a small little set or something.
I don't think this is related, but the Bloody Murder thing reminded me. This is not a bad movie, honestly. Very low budget shot on video, but one of my favorite VHS covers is for this movie called Scream Bloody Murder.
Oh yeah,
and it's about a dude that has like he jumps off of like a tractor at the beginning of the movie as a kid, and his arm gets stuck under it, and it rips his hand off, and so now he has to use a hook. And,
does that have another audition, or is that it? Did it ever hit like DVD or Blu? Do you know?
It's definitely not on Blu-ray. If it is on DVD, it's on like some of those like very cheap multi-pack things.
Sounds so familiar. Let me check. Look it up. Sounds so
honestly
familiar.
So this is a United Home Video VHS. I think it has an alternate title, and it's nothing like this, nothing like Scream Bloody Murder. I can't remember the alternate title, but I highly recommend checking this out. I think it's on YouTube for free.
I think I might have it. Is it on the? Is it possibly on the Scream Theater double feature? It's got a different cover art though. Let me look at what this one is.
So I know that there's definitely another movie called Scream Bloody Murder, and don't get it confused with this one. This is from 72, I think. No, 78. It says on here. When I first saw it, it was in a thing called the Slasher Collection, and I think that was like a Diamond Entertainment cheap multi-pack. But that is a highly underrated, I think, slasher kind of creepy movie that's low budget. And I'm pretty sure that Grindhouse Video, I think they own it. Or not Grindhouse Video. Grindhouse Releasing. I think they own it, but nobody has done anything with it since VHS and those very bad, multi-pack DVDs where it's pretty much a VHS rip. But that's like high on my list for a movie that needs to have a Blu-ray.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested.
That was awesome.
Well, with Grindhouse, they kind of take their time with their. They only release what, 1 or 2 movies a year, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, it sucks because they have a lot of. I think they own quite a bit of stuff, and like I don't think they've even gotten into the 4K realm yet, have they? I mean, because they have the Beyond, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
And
they do. Yeah.
Where they, they're just sitting on all that stuff, and all these other companies are like rapid fire releasing stuff all year, and then you got like Grindhouse, which has some of the bigger titles, and they're just kind of like.
Well, they got Cannibal Holocaust too, don't they?
Yeah.
So they got that. They got. Do they have Cannibal Frogs too?
Yeah.
Or is that?
No, it was Grindhouse on the DVD days. I don't know if that's all I have, but.
And then.
Yeah, they have the Beyond.
Got a lot of stuff.
They just
think of it.
Cat they had another one.
Yeah, that's right. I was just gonna say that one. Yeah.
Yeah, check out Scream Bloody Murder. That's a good one. That's I've always enjoyed that.
I have an interesting story about just the VHS days. My wife and I first started dating, we used to go all the time to that was like a staple. Like on Friday nights, we'd go to the horror section and we'd look around and we'd pick something, we'd rent it. And I remember one night, I think I was working or something, so I was like, "Yeah, just run there and pick something, whatever you think looks good." And we got back to my house and she came in and she's like, "This looks so good. It looks super scary." And it was Dario Argento's World of Horror. It was like the making, like that thing.
Yeah.
And I remember like that was like my first like real introduction to him. Like actually, besides Suspiria, and I was like, "Oh, it's the guy who made this." We put it on. I'm like, "What the hell is this?" It was like she kind of had like the video store. But she thought she was so cool coming home with it. I was like, "What?" We was like so pissed.
Got a super chat real quick here from Woodrow Purvis. Appreciate it, man. The Boneyard is one that he mentioned. He says easily the best cover, but the worst movie.
Is that the
Google
dog?
Yeah, it's the dog.
Yeah.
It's got like a poodle on it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. It looks like the dog from Chud 2.
Well, just a basic question here, though. I mean, because we got a lot of people in here. I'm curious because we watch a lot of movies. What movie recently, in terms of like either horror, exploitation, something like that, has impressed you guys the most?
How many years are we talking? Like,
I'm talking just recently,
in
within the last
year.
Yeah.
What movie? I mean, I think, to be honest, I think X might be my top, I would say.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
Yeah, that really did it for me. I mean, that really surprised me because and then because I think I saw Garrett's review first, and then I was like, all right, I'll definitely check it out too because I know you guys were messing with it. So I was like, all right, let's check it out. And I don't know, man, that really kind of blew me away because it had that kind of style to it, like it was kind of shot in a different time where it was just a different era, it just kind of felt like that, like we're kind of being transcended into that time period. I don't know, it was very cool with how it was portrayed.
Yeah,
what do you guys think?
Go with X, probably X. I mean, I agree with that. I did like the new Batman quite a bit. I don't know how, but it's a Batman movie, so it's not really. I mean, X was out of left field, so that I feel like more has more power to it as far as impressing you, because it's just a whole new story. It's not part of like a existing franchise like Batman, but I did like Batman. But I would agree with X. I'm trying to think of some other things though that would, to mention, but I haven't seen that many that have really impacted me.
Now, are you talking about more like released in theaters movies, like per se, or are you saying anything like
either or? I mean, it doesn't matter. Like the one that keeps getting referenced in the chat that I think too is Last Night in Soho. That movie completely kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah. I gotta see that's up there too, because I just love Edgar Wright so much, and that blew me away too. Like I kind of went in, I was like, I know this is gonna, keep me satisfied, and it did. And that was that's another one. Those are the only two that I could think of that I've seen like recently of like newer movies. Really, I gotta like see a lot besides Batman, but I gotta keep up with a lot of new stuff. I always end up like missing releases and then having to go back and like people are like, you gotta check this out, and I'm like, all right, I'll get to it, and then I push it off or whatever. So I gotta have to do a better job at like trying to stay up to date with that. But I just kind of ended up seeing those few this year.
I haven't seen Last Night in Soho. Yeah, that did blow me away.
Would be up on the top of the list.
I haven't seen that.
It's like Cronenberg on steroids. That's the best way I can.
Okay.
Did you see the trailer for the new Cronenberg movie? I think it's called like Crimes of the Future or something.
No.
Dude,
it
looks
I've seen it.
Vintage Cronenberg.
Yeah, it looks good.
Full-on body horror movie. Looks really cool. It's got Viggo Mortensen and what's her face from Twilight?
Kristen Stewart.
Yes, thank you, Kristen Stewart.
Huh.
Looks really good.
Malignant's another one. Yeah, My Killer Podcast just mentioned that one.
I forgot about that one. That was one of the first.
That was last year. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
That's a dividing movie though. Like that really divides people. Like I feel like
you either like it or you don't really.
Yeah, like.
But you know what I think with that one too? I think it was kind of right place, right time. Like we were in like a weird, theaters weren't really open yet, and we were all been sitting home for 2 years.
You're
and all of a sudden that popped out, and it was like, and I didn't know anything about it. Like I was just like, all right, people are talking about it. I hadn't seen a trailer, and I just popped it on, and I really was like, taken back and been like, wow, that's finally like something different and cool. Even though there was some parts that weren't necessarily too original, but original enough. And I liked a lot. And going back to movies, and when I say current, you might be like, dude, that's not current at all. But like, It Follows is another one that I've always really liked a lot. And I liked Hereditary a lot.
Hereditary is great.
And I did like Midsummer a lot. And I know a lot of people kind of give their take on that one. But those are like the big five, I think, for me that I've seen in theaters over the last, 10 years when it comes to horror.
There was one that I mentioned on here. It's a German movie. I watched it and Titan almost back to back. It's called Sleep. Arrow Video released it. It's from I think it was from a couple of years ago actually, but it just came out in the U.S. like earlier this year or late last year. I'm not really sure. It's like one of those slow build atmospheric type movies. It reminded me a lot of The Shining. And I just I've not heard anybody ever talk about it. It is subtitled, it's a German movie, so, but yeah, I would highly recommend without giving any of it away. It's almost like a modern day Giallo.
I'll say this too, though, man. We've been doing the show since 2005, so, I mean, we've seen a lot of things come and go. I think this period in time, is a lot better for horror films than the era that we started where like the boom of all the crap like Hostel and Saw and like yeah, I mean horror was a lot more popular back then, it seems like, but the quality of those films was awful. And you try to go back and watch Captivity or something like that today and tell me like how you feel. But I feel like things like X, you'll actually be able to go back and watch 10 years down the road and be like, oh, it's a well-made film. But there's like 1,000 movies from that period of time when it was, making all the money that are awful to this day.
Yeah, that was actually going to be like one of my questions for you guys too. Like you guys feel like the horror scene now is kind of more like there's more digestible films going around that you guys can cover and talk about, so it keeps things like refreshing too. So you're not like, it's not like it's horror's in a drought, really, you know. And then that with all the physical media releases, it's like, you know, really thriving right now.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a lot more interesting stuff coming out on a regular basis than, and I think we were honestly burnt out as well. What was it, about 2014, 2015? But the yeah, a lot of the stuff overall, man, aside from a lot of the mainstream franchise stuff, 9 times out of 10, it's at least decent, I think.
Yeah, I actually, you know what I saw? Somebody in the chat what did they just bring? I just saw it. Someone brought up the movie Bone Tomahawk. Have you guys seen that? I thought that was a really good movie.
Oh, yeah.
Little bit long, but really strong. That guy made another movie with Vince Vaughn. I think it's called like Brawl in Cell Block 99.
Oh my god, that movie is fucking amazing.
That movie,
that's a good movie.
I totally agree. It's fucking amazing. It blew me away.
I have
Vince
that.
Vaughn
Actually, I haven't watched it though.
Dude, check it out. It's really good.
Yeah, you need to.
That was one of my Goodwill scores for $1. It was the 4K too. I was like, what the hell?
It's a really good film. But to your point, Bone Tomahawk is also a really strong movie too. Really good cast, extremely well acted. You kind of don't see like, there's a little bit of a twist to it too. You don't like see coming the whole time. It's very well done.
And it's like a Western horror too, which is just different, you know. And I really liked it. It's pretty freaky, you know. Like there's some parts in it that's pretty, you know, tense.
For sure.
And, I thought it was really well done. If you guys haven't checked that one out,
I didn't even realize really good, that was a horror
filmmaker. The guy who directed that movie.
So you haven't seen it, Matt?
No, I didn't even realize it was even like horror adjacent or anything. I thought it was more of a action kind of battle type movie.
Oh yeah, no. This is definitely got horror elements in it. And what's funny about it is I'm a big Lost Boys guy, and Jameson Newlander, who played like one of the Frog Brothers, like the other one, he's like the sheriff in this movie, and it was just so funny to see him now. And I'm like, what the hell? Yeah,
that is odd.
Dude,
it was too odd.
So I love Lost Boys too. I went and saw it at Quentin Tarantino's theater here in LA on 35mm, and then like a few weeks later, they did a showing at this little outdoor theater in Hollywood somewhere, and Jason Patrick showed up with his kid and watched the whole movie. And they did like 20 minutes of Q&A with him, which was really cool because I think he said some not so nice things about the movie like over the years. And the only time he really talked about it was in that book that came out a few years ago. That's actually really good about the making of it. But he had a lot of like nice things to say about the film, and he said it was the first time he'd seen it on a big screen like that since like 1987. And then like afterwards he like hung out and signed autographs and took pictures. He was really cool and had a lot of interesting like nice things to say about the film. So
dude, that's so killer because yeah, you're right. Jason Patrick had like really distanced himself from it, and either one or two things: either he's come around and realized it, or he looks back at his career and he says, "Shit, I'm really like known mostly for this movie." And that was an issue because I had talked to Sean Clark about this on like a stream that we did together, and so I like traveled to, I think it was like a Horror Hound one year, and I took a plane to get there, and it was mainly because Jason Patrick was like the main guest, and he had never been anywhere I was, and being such a huge Lost Boys fan, I'm like, I'm gonna buy tickets to Horror Hound and go. He canceled, and it was just such a bummer. But I ended up meeting him a few years later, and I was talking to Sean Patrick about that, and he said he was the one that was supposed to bring him to that show, and one of the reasons it didn't work out was because Sean's getting his stuff already, I guess, and he's like, yeah, I got all this stuff for Lost Boys, and he's like, what about all these other movies I was in? He's like, dude, listen, like, these people are gonna want like Lost Boys stuff, and he's like, I don't know, I was in this. He's like, listen, like, you need to have a ton of Lost Boys stuff ready, and they kind of got not an argument or whatever, but I guess then he just bounced, was like, I don't know if I want to do it, and maybe he's just really come around to be like, shit, you know what, like, as much as I want to deny it, like, Lost Boys is.
What did he want to be up there, like Speed 2?
I think his overall like thoughts towards it have softened over the years. You have to remember, like, he was basically an A-list theatrical talent for like a number of years, and he probably thought like, oh, it's this little dumb vampire movie I made, like, and now he's like not. You know what I mean? He's kind of at the twilight of his career. So I think his feelings have just softened. That's the only time I ever paid for an autograph. He did Monster Palooza like 4 years ago or something, and I was like, you know what, I'll never pay for an autograph, but I'm gonna pay for his autograph because he wasn't really doing a lot of conventions or anything. Wow. And then it was cool. Like V. Neal was at that show, who did the makeup for Lost Boys, and like he took his kid over to meet her, and there was like a little reunion. So it's, I don't know. I was always bummed that like he kind of trashed the movie. So I'm glad that he's realized it's special, you know.
Definitely. I mean, I hope he really does and doesn't just look at it as like, you know, if I wanna stay relevant, I have to accept it kind of thing. But man, he's always been a favorite of mine, and he's the type of person that I'm surprised didn't end up doing more and getting bigger roles because he had the look and everything else, you know.
He's a fantastic actor. Like some of the stuff he's done too, aside from Lost Boys, like Narc. He's in that movie with Jennifer Jason Leigh about Rush, I think it's called. Yep. Like he's a fucking great actor. I mean, he did Speed 2, but he's done a ton of really good stuff.
Well, he was in
got
Sleepers
paid,
as
man.
well.
That's all that matters.
So Sleepers was another one he was in, which is a pretty big movie. And I mean, you know, the thing is too, is do you guys? I didn't realize until recently who his dad is. Like I had no idea.
Yeah, he's the priest from The Exorcist.
Yeah, I had no idea until like very recently, probably within the last like 5 years. I was like,
he's also related to the guy who plays Homer in Near Dark, who wrote The Final Girls.
The little guy, right?
Christian Hanna.
I think his name's Josh Miller. I meant Near Dark. Did I say something else? He plays Homer.
No, Near Dark.
No.
He's the young kid, right?
We always joke behind the scenes that Joshua John Miller, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He looks exactly like Christian Hanna, like an older version of Christian Hanna. So
that's funny. I didn't know he wrote The Final Girls. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was actually at they did something at the I want to say it was, I don't know if it was the Joe Bob Jamboree or it was something at the Mahoning, and he was there giving like a whole like seminar about like Final Girls and like this whole thing. Like he was like doing this thing and they had it up on like the screen, and I was like, oh, and he was selling his book and all that crap. I was like, that was the first time I heard, like, you know, I didn't even know, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't even check out the book though.
I really like that movie, Final Girls. I don't know if you guys have all seen that one, but that would be kind of a semi-recent film that I thought was really strong.
I haven't seen that one yet.
I haven't either.
It's sort of, you got to check it out. It's sort of a love letter to like 80s slasher boom, and it has like the Last Action Hero kind of vibe where it's like movie with like they go into the world of the movies, but then you have a really strong relationship between the main character and her mom, and it's like it deals with like grief and loss, but also is a total like love letter to 80s slasher movies. So it's a blast. I would definitely recommend it.
Solar Babies. Forgot about that one.
Yeah, we got a little bit of an argument.
Jamie Gertz is in that one too.
Looks
like
there's
all hell breaking loose in the chat.
Oh man,
going on about the A24
It's an A24 haters.
The artsy horror films versus the people that, you know, aren't into that kind of thing. You know, it's like a line that divides it down, I think.
I'll go out and say I'm pretty A24 pro. I haven't seen a lot of their stuff. I mean, I liked Hereditary. I liked X. I liked Midsummer. I liked Uncut Gems. I'm trying to think of other ones that I liked, and I thought those were all really well done. But I mean, I haven't seen things like Lamb or anything, so I don't know that side of it.
I think
as far as what I've seen, I liked.
They're a production company on Euphoria too. If you watch Euphoria on HBO, really, really strong like teen drama show. So I would say I'm a fan of their stuff too.
Ex Machina is like one of my favorites that they've done. I got that print back there.
That's like a borderline masterpiece.
Yeah, that is so a great movie.
You know what? I've never seen that. I've never seen it. I always passed it.
Wonderful movie.
Yeah, it's killer.
That would be.
Well, Rambo's saying it was just a discussion, no arguments going on there. But yeah, A24, man, it's just like, I don't know if I would lump all those movies really together either, because they're all from different. A lot of them are from different filmmakers.
They are.
They all have different vibes, I feel like, in their own way.
Yeah.
And A24 and Blumhouse, like all those studios, like those are the ones that are producing and putting out all these films that we're getting in this horror era, I guess, like, we're most of them, you know. So I don't know. It's just like, I think it comes in waves. Like, I think some years are better than others for some of the studios or some of the movies they put out. But I'm the same way, where like I haven't seen every A24. Like, I don't know. I've only seen what I've put the time in to watch. So I still got to check out some more obscure ones.
Good Time, I thought, was like fantastic.
Oh yeah, that was them. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
Same guys that directed Uncut Gems, like you mentioned. That's
all right.
It's all really
Yeah,
good.
I like that
Like
one. I didn't realize that
anxiety
was
inducing,
good.
but very strong movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched Red Rocket. Someone asked me. I do have it though. I haven't popped it in. I haven't watched Green Knight, but I do own it. I just haven't seen that one either. And there was another one that I have that. Oh, they did The Witch, right? Yeah. So I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one I like too.
Those are the ones that actually impressed me the most out of any of them were The Witch and The Lighthouse, which I think, what's the guy's name? Robert Eggers did both those.
Yeah, he's got The Northman out in theaters now, but I don't believe that was put out by A24 though this time.
No, I just saw that last night, and I thought it was pretty good. A little too long, The Northman, but it was actually pretty good. A couple of my friends weren't vibing with it. They were like, "Nah, that was just like this, and that." And I was just like, I thought it was pretty decent, but it did run a little long. I think that's the problem with a lot of movies nowadays. Sometimes, like, they can't run it into the ground because everything feels the need to push that limit now, and it's like, it doesn't really need to be that long, even though it is like, this story about Vikings and all this shit, all the Norse mythology stuff.
I saw The Lighthouse in a theater on a whim without having even seen a trailer for it.
Me
I have to
too.
be honest, like I haven't watched it a second time yet, but I was totally blindsided, and I don't know if I really liked it that much. Like, I just was kind of like, I don't know what I just saw.
I don't think that's a movie that you can like really enjoy, is it? Like, I mean, it's not something that's like, it's
You're
not
just
a
scratching your
popcorn kind of
head
movie.
By the end, you're just like, what am I
Yeah.
seeing? Like,
Yeah,
I never watched that one.
It's bizarre, to say the least. It is bizarre.
to say that it's pretentious is like an understatement. Let's just say that, in my opinion. Like, I think that's a little too. I was just like, okay, pigeons and all this crap, or birds, and Willem Dafoe is, and just like, again, I saw it once and I was like, I don't know if I want to even go back and watch it to decipher this stuff, because the fans are like, oh well, this means this, and you see how this affects this, that's what this means. It means, and it's like, I'm not going to go into this whole thing. Like, I don't even feel like watching it a second time.
Modern day Salo.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
No, come on, not like that.
Has
They're
anybody
shit-eating.
Has anybody seen The Lobster? Is that an A24 movie?
It is, I think, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see that. Has a very strange plot and synopsis to it, so I've heard good things about it. Maybe we'll see if it's any good. But
How about this
Strange
other one people were
movie.
talking about? Sacred Deer. Is that A24?
Killing of a Sacred Deer. Yeah.
What do they just do? Like all animals, like lamb and lobster and
Yeah.
What was the
Secret
other
Deer.
one? Like, God, no, I don't think it's by that. Antlers, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I didn't
anybody.
see that.
Nope. Yeah, that
thought it was
one's not
good.
too
I mean,
bad.
I thought it was
I thought it was
good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
It looked like
That's
it was shot
another
in
one that
West
took me
Virginia.
off guard. Yeah.
wait.
Is it really?
Wait,
No,
I'm looking
shot-
at Rainbow
I think-
Raft's comment right now. I didn't. So this is what Lighthouse is. Is it? This is what has Lighthouses in?
What the fuck? I don't remember that at all.
There is some. I don't know what you can't say. I don't know. There's some
Yeah,
stuff in that.
there's a lot.
William Dafoe's
Really?
involved in some weird ass shit.
That's
He was
funny.
in
Yes, he
Northman
is.
I had
too,
no
which
idea.
is like, he's crazy in the Northman. Like, he just shows up and you're like, holy shit, and he's he's going ape shit. He has the crazy eyes. I'm like, this guy brings it, man. Like, every time.
I feel like him and Nicolas Cage are in a battle to see who can be the craziest like on-screen presence in any movie.
Hey man, after
Like,
Willy's Wonderland, I don't know.
All right.
That was one of my favorite.
Speaking
Like,
of that,
I love
did
that
anybody
movie.
see
Yeah.
that new? that new Nicolas Cage movie? I'm really intrigued for that.
I saw the trailer for that in front of
It looked cool, right?
in front of something. Yeah, it looked pretty.
Oh,
cool.
you talking about
It's supposed to be good. It's like he's playing a fictional version of himself in it.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it, but heard it was really delivers.
Yeah, I'm interested in that one for sure.
Oh, it already came out. Damn, I must have missed that one.
I don't know if it. I saw it as a trailer. I think I saw it in front of X.
Yeah.
I think
They showed it out here, like in Santa Monica at the Arrow, and he showed up and did like a Q&A for it, but the tickets were gone like instantly.
That's awesome being out there. You have access to some of that. Those
Yeah,
cool
dude,
like, little
it's-
screenings and stuff.
We're
Man,
so
that's
fucking
killer.
spoiled; it's ridiculous.
I always wanted to go to
California gets
Cali.
everything.
Yeah, I want to always check out
so
those theaters and
just
stuff.
like this, I was telling you guys earlier, I met Jason Patrick and that whole thing. So like that same month, I went and saw like Monster Squad on 35 millimeter at the New Beverly. Like, we're so spoiled, it's stupid. Like, I've been to so many cool fucking screenings out here. I met Paul Verhoeven at a screening of Starship Troopers. Met Cronenberg. They did a whole this thing called Beyondfest out here. I don't know if you guys follow that, but it's a genre film festival they do every year. Like, they did a whole Cronenberg retrospective a few years ago where they like basically showed every single David Cronenberg movie on 35 millimeter, right? He did Q&As for a Q&A for The Fly with Gina Davis and the composer. He did a Q&A for Videodrome. Like, we went to all of it. I met him. He signed my Brundlefly statue. Like, it's so stupid how spoiled we are.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of Cronenberg, I think it was Cronenberg. Someone brought it up earlier in the chat, and I haven't seen it. A movie, The Possessor. Was that him?
That's his son.
Yeah, that was
Was that good?
Oh yeah,
Is that a good movie?
Yeah.
I heard it was excellent.
All right, I haven't seen it, but I always hear people talk about it.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a 4K disc of it too, and
there's a couple of different cuts
really,
of it in there.
really strong. So gotta add that to the list.
Well, I was interested in his son's work, and then I bought that one a long time ago, and I was like, this is awful. It was with Pattinson was in it. And then I just never wanted to go back and watch any more of his stuff. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
you're
because
talking about antiviral.
I don't know. It was like just Pattinson driving around in like a CGI car, like in the backseat of a car. for, like, an hour.
Cosmopolis.
Oh,
That's
that
what
one.
it is.
I didn't like it,
yeah,
so I
yeah.
was like,
I didn't
I don't
either.
know if I'm going to watch any more of his stuff.
I don't know if I didn't like it. I just didn't get it. Like, I was like, what is the point of this movie?
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt.
And then he did another one after that called Maps to the Stars that Pattinson was in too.
I haven't seen that.
And then, but this new one that's coming looks like classic, like Videodrome style David Cronenberg.
What did you say it was called again?
I think it's called Crimes of the Future.
Okay, I'll
Yeah, he did a movie in the 70s by the same name. Apparently. And this is apparently the same thing, but it's same title, different plot.
That's cool, man.
We got another super chat here from Old Curly Jaws, $10 super chat. Appreciate it, man.
I mean, I don't think that's the worst at all, but
I think some of our worst might be on Old Curly Jaw's best. So,
Yeah.
you know,
That's true. Yeah.
Make this easy. Which one? Name your top 10 favorites, and then we'll go through this again.
I like the remake of that, the reboot.
I thought it was fine. I'm cool with it.
I didn't
like
really
it.
like it.
I think if it wasn't called Child's Play, I think it would have. And I think if that thing was called Buddy, I think it would have been better than it being called Chucky. There was no need for it. They could have just made it. Even if they called it Child's Play, they could have just made it a different doll, and it would have worked. I think. But to try to compare, I think that's where it really pisses people off.
I just try to think of the movies that we did the On the Roads for. What was the worst, just the awfulest one? And it has to be the Fog remake.
It was. That's the same thing that came to my mind.
Yeah.
Not worse than Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
that's probably my like word. I refuse to even
hate
own
that
that
movie.
movie.
Listen,
and
that's
if I'm
got
gonna
some
own it-
fucking great cinematography, though. There's a lot of really good shots in that movie.
Dude, there's people on
You got to be kidding me.
Twitter
people that put that over
are
now?
defending the Elm Street remake.
People
And
do that
I'm
with
like,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre too, and I'm
It's
like,
been
I
10
don't-
years, so there's going to be people that love it all the
I
same.
can't even bring myself to go back and revisit it. I only saw it once theatrically. Like, Nightmare on Elm Street is my favorite franchise. I'm as big of a fan as you could be. Like I hated that movie so much.
Yeah,
and
me
if you
too.
watch that documentary, Never Sleep Again, like
what a great documentary that
amazing.
is. I go back and watch that like relatively like once a year. I go back and watch
they
that.
ask I do too, it's fantastic. They ask, I think it's one of the cut interviews, but they ask Bob Shaye and Wes Craven like how they felt, and they you could see like how like hurt they are that
they took it off the Blu-ray.
Produced.
You can't. That is only on the DVD. That little snippet of interview is only on the DVD. They took it off the Blu-ray where they're like they never like they tell the truth. Bob Shaye, it's like a shoot interview, and they took it off the Blu-ray for whatever reason. But it's only on the DVD.
Like
and
their facial expressions are like pains when they're talking.
Are you serious? They took it off because I had the DVD and it was like signed or something, and I sold it when I got the Bluray. So shit.
Yeah, no, that's only on the DVD.
You're gonna have to rebuy it now.
My buddy Perry told me about that.
That was another really cool thing I went to. I went and saw Nightmare on Elm Street 4 here at the Chinese theater with the fucking entire cast, director. I sat behind Bob Shaye and Rennie Harlan and watched the movie, and then met Bob Shaye afterwards. It was insane.
That's awesome.
But yeah, like just seeing how upset Wes Craven and Bob Shaye are, like it made me never want to watch that fucking thing again.
It's
and
so man, and it makes
Jackie
you wonder
Earl
why
Haley's a good actor and stuff, but I mean, like the guy that made the movie didn't even want to make it. Like the Platinum Dunes like forced him to make. They like talked him into doing it. He didn't want to do it, and he never even directed another feature film ever.
No, they interviewed like Rooney and they were like, "This is our movie, baby. We're doing this," and then it was like, "Shit." It's like you guys are trying to make your own thing and not even acknowledge you know what I mean? And then,
but do you guys think that it's even possible to make a Nightmare on Elm Street good without Robert Englund? I don't. I think you got to leave it alone.
They got to get him now while he's still.
I agree. I think if they're gonna do this, they have to do one more. Have him do it. He can do it.
Yeah, even if they just have to do certain like even if he can't be like as physical, I'm sure they can make it work. Like just do it while they still have him. Like
he did it for that sitcom. Like
he
did it for a convention. Like they put him in the makeup with that T-shirt. Remember? Like, if you could do that and sign shit for 8 hours, like you really can't like tell me that someone can't put together like $12 million and say like, all right, like
and he'd do it. He would do it in 2 seconds, and I think they've got to make a closure. And if they want, screw it. They're gonna almost like they're gonna have to just rehash New Nightmare and do like this requel and bring the people back and all this shit. If they want to do
Heather
it, like,
Langenkamp's like
I'm sure they
shotgun.
They probably will.
They kind of already did that though. Like she was kind of the prototype for these movies that they're doing now, along with like Sigourney Weaver and people like that. But yeah, every new like remake or reboot or whatever, you got to have like a female character that straps on a shotgun and a belt of bullets and fucking goes after the the main
I don't
villain.
think she'll look like Mick Garris though, so that'll be the good thing. She actually still looks pretty decent.
Yeah, I think that they need to do that if they're going to, and just then leave it alone, because you can do it with Freddy and Leatherface and Myers because they're all under masks. So you can't. There's no way. And like he said, Jackie O'Haley's a good actor, but he wasn't. I just don't think Freddy's going to work any other way. And
he basically just.
He's going to be at Rhode Island Comic Con this year, and I'm going to get an Elm Street remake poster, and I'm going to get it signed.
The thing about that is he basically did.
So unique of a piece.
He did the Rorschach character from The Watchmen in that movie. That's all that is. Like it's the same thing. So yeah, of course it's not going to be any good. And plus the design of the CG mixed with the oh my god, that was infuriating.
Yeah,
I
just think it was
who produced that movie. Like I think it's Andrew Form and Brian Fuller, the Platinum Dunes guys. They've basically said they know it's a failure. Like it was a huge financial success, but they know it sucks. Like they've admitted that it sucks.
Didn't they reuse lines from Freddy vs. Jason too in it? And it's like, dude, come on. Yeah. Like you already used those lines. Like, you know what I mean? Like it just seems so pasted together, man. Like it was such a I remember leaving that theater and I was just fucking pissed. And I used that like $10 certificate that came in that like Nightmare Blu-ray, so I technically never spent money on the film.
You still felt ripped off.
I did that. You still felt ripped off.
Still felt ripped off.
But yeah, I never felt so pissed off
beautifully
in
shot,
movie theater than I did when I walked out of that one.
It's amazing how many shitty
cinematography.
Think about
wonderful on it.
The Friday the 13th remake, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, all the main franchise remakes that they tried to do during that time period were just fucking awful. And we're not even getting into
Friday
like
13th remake because it kind of
the
just
Fog
like
remake.
cut and paste of all the good stuff from the franchise. But yeah, most of every other one is really bad.
But you know what though? We're at a time right now.
My
where
Bloody
Steam
Valentine
is-
3D was decent. If you
I
saw
thought
that
that
I
was
one.
thought
pretty
that
good,
I thought that
actually.
one was good.
Yeah.
The next Friday
My
the
buddy
13th
Tom
that
Atkins
comes out
is in it.
is going to do great money wise. That people want, or I think at this point will clamor for a new Jason movie.
It's tied up in that litigation. Like isn't
Isn't it
had a
done
sequel.
or no?
No, it's still pending. So like they had a sequel that was ready to go. Like they were going to shoot another Friday the 13th movie, and then when Victor Miller sued Sean Cunningham and the production company, that they canceled production. So
Dude, I feel so bad for Derek Mears. Such a nice dude, and I think he played Jason really well.
I finally met him
but-
at the last Monster Mania, and he was so
Dude,
nice. Like
How
so-
nice.
such a
He
nice
really
guy. Yeah.
he really is.
took the
and you
time.
gotta-
You know,
I feel bad because I mean he signed on. I remember when I met him, it was right before that movie came out, and he was like so excited. He's like, "This is my dream role. You know, I'm going to be locked in for some sequels, and I'm just going to be, I'm going to be Jason going forward." Then that thing all happened. He lost that. Then he finally got another gig. He was going to be Swamp Thing, right? And it was like, I'm sure for him it was a big deal. Like, shit, I'm going to be on a show. I'm going to be Swamp Thing. Gets canceled after like the first season. Like, this dude can't catch a break, man. Like, he gets these big roles, and then all of a sudden everything like shit hits the fan, and he's out. You know.
The Friday the 13th thing is criminal because the remake did huge box office. They should have been pumping out a sequel every 1 to 2 years. Paramount got the rights back, and they never did anything with the property other than that. And then it got tied up in litigation. It's like
well, they can release,
years,
they can release it on Blu-ray a bunch of times.
Sequel in
Steelbooks.
3D, and it just it's shameful. They should have been producing sequels constantly.
That's shameful, baby. John Cressup, real quick. He usually joins us on here, but he cannot join tonight. He did send us a super chat and said he voted for Garrett for DEADPIT Hall of Fame. I didn't know you were even in that race, Garrett.
Well, I am because this might be my last thing. So
that's
I might
right.
have to
And
I
he's
might have to
playing
retire
the
jersey.
the Ric Flair "Leave the Memories Alone" video and all. That's obscure reference right there.
Just remember though, if you lose, you got to do a whole college thesis on Salo. That's how you get back in.
Yeah.
You gonna grade it?
Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah. Break down each scene.
Yeah, so go click that. Go click that link in the description and make sure you vote. I have
That's,
5 days.
tinyurl.com as well, /vote the number 2 BERAD. And make sure that Garrett does not get beat by any other wonderful participants. That's
I was waiting
he
on
needs
it.
to win. I'm just, people know me. I just kid. I kid.
Wes
One
is always
thing
been a
that
bully.
one thing that I wanted to mention on here though, and talk about and see what you guys think is Netflix. We'll talk about Netflix raising their prices yet again, and they're in early development. I think it's already out in some countries to limit the accounts per household. So if you have somebody outside your household, it's going to charge you more money, basically. I don't know how much more. I don't know if they've said, but it's some sort of new software they're developing. And I've already told my wife, if they come out with this, I am canceling Netflix the same day. What do you guys think?
Didn't they lose millions of subscribers here recently? I thought I saw something about that.
Yeah, they did.
As well. So it's they're kind of tanking with whatever these decisions they're making right now are.
It's hard, man. I mean, things now it's tough because with everything that's going up in prices, you're just under the assumption that everything's going to go up. And man, I'm feeling it. I don't know about you guys, but this last couple months, I'm feeling the hit a lot compared to what I was before. And I'm like, wow, it's just everything's adding up. It's just the little things. You go to Chipotle to get a burrito bowl or whatever, and I got double steak. Dude, it was $20 for one. I was like, what the hell? And that's not even talking about gas. So the expectations are there. Like, I'm not in the type of job where, I do well, but I'm not in the type of job where it's like, hey, I'm going to get a cost of living raise. Like, I'm not. So, like, in my end, it's like I could raise prices for what I do, but, that's not fair to, what I do. But it's definitely a hurt. And as far as Netflix, it's hard because I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do well because there's so much other stuff out there to choose from now that, like, it's easier to get rid of it because there's so much else that you can be like. You can do Hulu and be like, oh, it's the same thing as Netflix, and I get live TV. My biggest problem is going to be with Netflix is that I need to see Cobra Kai, so it might be one of those things where I come and go. But I don't spend a lot of time on Netflix just because, man, I've got like 50 unwrapped freaking Blu-rays over here that I'm like need to catch up on. So I don't have a lot of time to kind of hang around, and on that kind of stuff. So will I cancel it? I don't know. I guess I would have to feel it out and see if I'm even utilizing it if these changes happen.
Yeah, it's almost like when you look at the prices add up, you're like, wow, I'm almost paying the same for cable. This is why I got rid of that shit to begin with. And, and now it's starting to, and then they want to charge you for 4K and all this crap. And their 4K, in my opinion, doesn't really look that good. It's 4K streaming, but it doesn't look as good as a disc. We all know that. That's why we, like our physical media too. But, and it's good to have it because, they want you to pay all this money for services, but then, stuff will be edited or taken out or taken off. Like you'll be in the middle of watching, the Harry Potters, and then it'll jump to 2 different services by the time you get done the film series. It's just like, it's just easier just if we have the shit to utilize that instead of just like caving into all these, like, this show is on Paramount Plus and this show is on and it's just like, dude, like, I'm not going to sign up for all of these, you know what I mean? So, and thankfully there's, some websites out there that help you out and you could save some money. And that's kind of what I'm all about, in my opinion. Like, I pay for HBO Max, but like, I'm done with Netflix. Like, as soon as they raised it to like 25 for 4K, I think a month right now was what they were charging me last. That's or 20. Insane. Like, I don't get that value out of it. That's a 4K on my shelf that I could go back and watch a million times over than I would even launch that Netflix app. So I think, especially with the whole, like, you can't mooch off someone's account anymore, that's going to put that's going to put a stake in that, I think, for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I have Netflix. Oh, sorry. I have Netflix, but I don't have the 4K. I thought that price was high when I first got Netflix, and so I was like, no, like, I'll pass on that, and I just have the standard. I think maybe one up from the standard. It's not the standard edition; it's the HD, but it's
like the middle one. Yeah.
So I have that, and I use Netflix like okay. I think the biggest draw for them is obviously the exclusive stuff, like some of those documentary series that they get, and I like a lot of those. Like something like Midnight Mass or any of those Haunting of Hill House, unless you're willing to kind of pirate it and see it that way. So I think they did raise the price on my subscription as well by like $1 or something. I could never see myself paying for the 4K edition of Netflix. Like, I can't. Like, I'm much more, I use Amazon Prime a lot more, and I have Criterion Channel as well, and there's a lot of cool stuff on there. But I mean, there are people, like, the sharing of accounts and stuff, I just don't see how that's going to work. I think they're going to lose so many subscribers because of that. And it's not even that people are trying to be shady and, steal content or whatever by sharing passwords. It's just like, it's something that you can't expect people not to do eventually. I mean, it's just the way that it is. It's not like you're, selling your account out to people, handfuls of people. What's the problem with having 2 or 3 family members or a friend or somebody having your account? Like, I don't see how that hits them so hard that they have to feel like they need to punish everybody for it.
Yeah.
Corporate greed.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's what it is.
It's a dick move to do that. I mean, if you want to say, like, you can't have 10 people use your account, like, okay, but like, if you're giving it out to 1 or 2 people, I mean, you're paying for it. What difference does it make? Unfortunately for us, there's too much content that we watch on there that my wife watches. Also, like Garrett saying, Cobra Kai, like, gotta have it for that. So we probably won't cancel, but yeah, it stinks. Like, I don't even know how are they going to be able to figure that out? Like, how are they going to know if you're actually in violation of whatever?
Maybe they could track the IP, or they know where the IP is coming from. Like your
Yeah,
Wi-Fi,
but-
it's connected to that, I guess. And I don't
Yeah.
know. What if you're on your phone? What if you're on data?
Exactly.
Well,
Like, or you're traveling,
Here's,
whatever, and you log in from another
Yeah,
device.
very,
It's, like,
very weird.
ridiculous.
Well, what's interesting too is because like right now, I'm living half here and half at my in-laws because my house is being worked on. So for instance, I've got all my shit logged in at their house so I can watch it, right? So what happens there if it's me, right, at their house with my password? Does it get do I get dinged, right? Like that's the thing too where it's
Yeah.
you know
They're going to charge you more.
I get it, but at the
Exactly.
same time, it's like, well, what the hell? What am I going to do if I want to use this somewhere besides my house? You know?
Yeah, and with that,
Yeah, if you're
turn
on
you off that
vacation or
service
something.
completely. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, like if you go on vacation, you log in somewhere or whatever. Like you
Yeah,
get
Every
dinged.
hotel has it on their TV. you
every
know, you
hotel
go
and
to a
Airbnb
hotel.
has a Fire Stick that you can just pop in your stuff in there and use it. You know what I mean? So
Movie fans
I agree with
says
movie
Netflix
fan,
is so
though.
overrated.
I
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I completely agree with that. Like, I mean, there's only a couple of shows on there that I ever would actually want to watch anyway, and the majority of the time, like, I mean, it's 50 million movies that aren't worth a shit. So I don't know.
You know
What's
what? Though?
It's not a big
That's
deal.
right. I don't watch any movies on there really. Like I watch Cobra Kai, I'll watch Midnight Mass, and I do like those documentaries. I'll watch those way before I watch any like movie because when it comes to movies that I want to see, 9 times out of 10 I have
Yeah.
most
Yeah,
of what I
because-
want to watch. But
Well, I
a lot of
mean,
those
Don May
documentaries
Jr.
are
will
good, though.
shame you about watching stuff on Netflix anyway, because the
Don May.
streaming quality of it. He's like, God, that
Yeah,
shit sucks.
Bit rate on that's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's got the bit rate mapped out. Trust me.
What's interesting though is whenever the streaming started for Netflix, I would say a good at least 80% of all the content that's made up of these other networks now was on Netflix.
Right.
Netflix at one point in time had so much more stuff.
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
there.
they kind of
And
had
now-
a borderline monopoly, like on the streaming, right? And now that you have all these competing services, it's like they don't have all that content.
Can you go like even just for horror as an example on Netflix, like just you know how like you just slide over horizontally and look, and it's like by the you're at the end of that list, and you're kind of like that's it, that's all
Yeah.
of this genre that they have, or any genre.
or the
And then
time
you
it
go
takes
to-
you. Yeah, it's like you don't
Yeah,
even
you go
want
to Amazon Prime or or even Tubi, which is
Yeah, like how does
completely free.
Tubi make this work? Like seriously, like they have so much
Their
good
ads,
stuff, like
and ads and
and
stuff.
it's free, right? Like it's free, isn't it?
I
But,
think
the
um,
quality
ads,
is
right?
not
it is
good.
it is
but-
free with ads, I think. And then
Yeah.
Liz.
Scream Factory just launched like some free service too with a bunch
Oh,
of.
that's free. Their
And
new
if you
thing's free
watch,
as well.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
if
it's
you-
free. Yeah.
I think if you watch Tubi or anything with ad block on your browser, it just takes out the ads. If you're watching it on your browser, I know a lot of people watch it on, their TV and stuff like that. But I think there's a way you can get around some of those like free ads.
Steve's figured it out. He's
Oh, I'm
the
sure.
free version of Tubi.
But yeah, I
Tubi
think, is
actually,
great.
yeah.
It's really
Oh,
good.
go ahead, man. I was just
No,
gonna say, like,
I
that's
watch Tubi more than I watch anything else.
that's how I got prepared for all those that European directors, because they have almost all that shit on Tubi.
That's
Like
so
if you type
funny.
in Argento or Fulci in the search, like there's 10 movies that come up, and I was amazed. Like, how in the hell are they pulling this off? Like,
That's kind of cool too,
So, yeah.
because viewers that are watching like the shows and stuff can be like, oh, I can actually check it out easy without having to like track down a physical copy of something that is like harder to get or whatever.
Well, you know what else Tubi is pretty good for, but at the same time, I always get annoyed. Is like, we'll do like a Vinegar Syndrome stream, and I'll purchase like a whole shit ton from them or Severin, and then like 3 days later, I'll go on Tubi, and like everything I just ordered will be like up there. I'm like, son of a bitch! Like, I just freaking ordered all this stuff. I could have easily just checked it out first here.
This is an old school reference right here. You guys remember this one?
John Carl Bickler.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
The one thing I'll say negative about Tubi is the user interface and the searchability of things is pretty poor compared to those other services. Like,
Buddy, don't you dare talk shit about Tubi.
I'm not. I love
I won't
Tubi.
stand for it.
I stand for Tubi, but like it's hard. Like say for like there's a lot of stuff that Vinegar Syndrome, for example, has put out, and if you don't know the title, it's not. You can't just type in Vinegar Syndrome, or you can't just type
Yeah.
in like you really have to know specifically what you're looking for and kind of search for it, because I've even found going by genre on there, it's not very accurate, and it leaves titles out where you're like, I know they have this on there, but it's not showing up in the general search through if you just go to the genre. So
you have to be very specific. Yeah.
If they could improve on that alone, that would be big for them, because they have a lot of good stuff.
Very cool. So guys, do any of you guys have any topics or anything? Mark, you got anything you want to bring up, or it's kind of a free for all, whatever you guys want to talk about?
Nothing jumps out at me right now. But yeah, at least going back to the Netflix thing for a minute. Yeah, they only have a few like original movies that are good, and like Garrett was saying, like Cobra Kai's cool, but beyond that and like Stranger Things, like I don't really need it. Pretty much have everything.
So they'll probably be smart now, and they'll put like Cobra Kai out, and then Stranger Things will be like a few months later. So it's like right when you think you want to cancel it, that the next
Stranger Things, I think since summer this year.
Stranger Things up. They're going to do it in 2 years. Like this season that's coming, it's going to be like part 1 season.
Because they know. They know.
Exactly. Yeah, they're planning it for sure.
I think you may be seeing that a little bit more too, if more people kind of cancel out of it, which is definitely happening.
Yeah,
I even see them maybe dropping 1 episode a week or something like that.
I think it'll go to that eventually completely, like with those series.
Yeah,
where they'll just start doing
Mandalorian
weekly.
does that too. Still, like where it'll be on a service, but they'll air it just every week or whatever. Or they'll Halo's doing the same thing. Yeah, so it's like I kind of sometimes I like to try to catch shows while they're going on, so I don't feel so overwhelmed with how many episodes I have to watch. Where I go like, all right, I can watch it each week, but sometimes it is annoying to like try to catch it when it's airing. Obviously, it just airs on whatever time it gets put up, but it's nice to have the whole thing there too sometimes, depending on the situation, because if it's a good show, you'll get through it really quick because you'll want to keep watching it.
Right.
But yeah. I didn't know they were splitting Stranger Things. That pisses me off.
Yeah.
But whatever. Yeah. I'm just like, I hear that, I'm like, oh god, no, stop. But I know why.
Funny thing about Criterion Channel, when they started that up, I was one of the early, you could basically sign up for the channel. So
it's like
you had something. Yeah, it was, I don't remember what the name of it. It was like you're a charter subscriber. So you had access to it like a month prior to when it actually went public. And then they sent everybody that had that early subscription a metal card, like a membership card with your name etched into it and everything, and the Criterion logo on the back. And I just thought that was that's totally something Criterion would do. So I have that on my shelf over there. I mean, that's
funny.
Not everybody likes Criterion, but that's kind of a funny thing.
Cool.
Like almost like a Blockbuster card,
little piece of memorabilia.
Yeah.
Did anybody use the Scream Factory service that's out?
I've used
not yet.
I've used the old version, which I think the new one has a little bit more stuff on it.
Because on Roku, there's like a Shout Factory channel. Mm-hmm. And it's like all free, but that's not Scream Factory stuff. So,
well, some Scream Factory stuff was on it, but I think that I don't know if the new one's launched yet.
I don't know.
But evidently the word is that's free as well. So I'm sure it'll have ads out the ass.
Yeah, a good topic would be, I see Alexander said Cursed Season 2, Cursed Films.
I've been watching.
How many episodes are out? I watched the Wizard of Oz
3.
one. Is there another one?
There's 3 out. Yeah, there's 2 more out. Yeah, they're airing every Thursday. They're dropping on Shudder.
They're not very good.
Cannibal Holocaust.
I don't like it as much as season 1. I don't like it as much as season 1.
The one episode that was really strong was the Twilight Zone episode. I thought.
Oh my god, dude, that was
because the quality that they had of that footage was pretty insane.
I haven't seen any of those.
That is an insane. That whole thing is insane. The story, the trial, everything.
Yeah. Watch the Twilight Zone one on season 1. It's nuts. It's
where is that?
Also,
like all those people.
Watch our Tragedies in Tinseltown edition of that as well.
That's good. You guys did a good job.
Yeah. Now, where is that show streaming at? The Cursed Films.
Oh, it's Shudder.
Oh, okay. See, that's like I don't. Ironically enough, I don't have Shudder. I
The
know
only
you
reason
have
you
That's
it.
the
have
other
it
one
is
I have for Joe
if you
Bob.
if you like the Joe Bob stuff, that's like
Yeah.
the only reason to have it.
Oh,
They have
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
DVDs out of that too, I think.
Oh
the
yeah,
first
Cursed
season
season
at least.
1, Cursed Films is on Blu-ray and stuff.
Really?
right?
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah. But you know what's funny is I didn't have Shudder until very recently either. I held off all this time, and what ended up getting me to pull the trigger was when Joe Bob did Black Roses and Frankenhooker. I was like, "Fuck, I gotta see it."
That was
You know,
killer.
and that was
Yeah.
like that was like when I finally decided to pull the trigger on it, and so I've been kind of binging a lot of stuff on there.
They did. He did Cannibal Holocaust too. I think. If
I know I
recall
skipped that
correctly.
one.
Yeah. I was like, I want to
They have they have an
movie,
animal.
but I don't really want
I
to.
think they have an animal-free version on Shudder, like with the Joe Bob segments. I think, or like
I was like
or
going
something
like this
that.
through, and I saw it, and I went and then I like went really fast. Yeah, after it.
But no, the Cursed Films one though. The last one they did was this what was it? The Ukrainian movie.
Serbian film.
No, it was Stalkers or something like
Stalker,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Really?
I mean, I don't have any context for that. I've never seen the movie. I'd say the majority of people probably haven't seen that movie.
Yeah, that episode was
So-
kind of like, yeah, I didn't really.
And then the Wizard of Oz one, that one was okay, but who hadn't heard all that shit like a million times before that anyway?
I didn't
Let's
mind
see him do a
Rosemary's Baby, I
Salo
didn't mind that
episode.
one.
I'm not going to do Salo. I promise you.
I didn't mind the.
I didn't
Rosemary's
realize
Baby
that
episode.
that Wizard of Oz. There's only one VHS tape that still has that footage on it. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
I didn't know that either. That's the one thing from that, yeah.
Yeah, and that dork
So I
at the
assume
video
that's probably a
store was like,
pretty.
"Yeah, I got it.
I'm sure that's probably a pretty expensive tape to have. Right?
It's like the biggest mark ever. He's like, for that movie.
Oh man, he's like the guy didn't know what he had in his collection. He wouldn't have sold it to me. Like I was like, oh yeah, this would be the guy that has this tape. This guy.
So there
What was the middle one though?
Rosemary's Baby.
Was it Rosemary's Baby? Okay, I haven't seen that one.
All right.
I
Oh,
like
what's her
that just
name?
because I always like the whole Manson trial, like all that stuff that kind of plays into that. So they kind of touch on that, and that segment in there is pretty good. There's a weird part in the middle with this one. It kind of goes off the like when it starts going off the rails. Sometimes you're like, what does this have to do with like? They try to bring it back around sometimes with some other shit, and you're like, I don't really care about that though. Like so I don't know. It's been so far.
Yeah, Mia Farrow is going to be at a convention in Pittsburgh coming up this year, and I'm thinking about going even just for that. Like, I would love to have her sign something from that movie.
Oh yeah.
All right, everybody
What
send
about-
Matt your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Tia Farrow? That's one I want to meet.
Will Clown House ever get an official Blu-ray?
Probably not
Yeah,
now.
maybe.
No way. No way.
No, there's a bootleg going around on one of the Facebook groups that
I bet
somebody made.
Anthony's got it. Look, he's reaching for something.
Got this.
There he goes.
That's
This,
the DVD.
whatever.
Yeah.
After I
That's
listened
the one
to
I have.
DeadPit's show on it, I was just like, let me see what I can grab on Amazon, and that was the first one. So yeah, it has, you can tell it's obviously a bootleg, but I haven't actually popped it in yet. So
It's
Yeah, I
the,
think is it the guy
MGM
Roy
DVD.
Dam that's got it?
I don't know.
Roy Dam. Did he put out the blue? I saw the blue hanging around online. Yeah.
There's a woman on one of the Facebook groups that I don't know where she's from, but she has put out a lot of bootleg like Blu-rays for movies, and that was one of them. I think it's on one of the horror collector Facebook groups with artwork and everything. So
shit.
Yeah, I have the original MGM one still from when it first came out, but that's the one I kept along. Old Curly Jaws said he sent another super chat. Did you see it?
I did not see it. I must have missed it. This chat's been going kind of nuts tonight. So
Yeah, it has been.
what were you asking, Old Curly? But I think that the whole thing with Clown House though is still kind of. A lot of people don't seem to know about that because when we were talking about when we were doing the show a few months ago, people were like, "What in the hell?" I mean, I don't know how much that story's actually got out for whatever reason. Some of the hardcores definitely know it, but I think just normal everyday people would have no idea that the
well,
the
it's
Jeepers
not a very
Creepers
well-known
guy-
movie at all. I mean, it's just
No.
it's kind of. I mean, you really would have to be into the horror community, I think, kind of to even know about that movie at all. It seems like.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I remember when I thought it was when I first saw it. I think I bought it. That was the time when I was just buying everything, especially when I saw the little MGM logo on the side. I was like, oh, I need it. You know, it was like they had all the same spines or whatever. And I actually thought it was a pretty good movie. And this was before I even knew anything about this. But it's been a long time since I've seen it. But I remember when I first bought it, I was like, oh, that was cool. And again, does it hold up now? I don't know. It's been forever since I've watched it.
You should go back and watch it and see what you think about a couple of scenes in it now.
Now that I know?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
No. God.
Do you guys have a like a favorite bootleg that you have in your collection that like you still like to keep? You know, you hang on to.
Definitely. Let me think. Oh, I can tell you right now, Summer Camp Nightmare is my favorite bootleg that I still have. Yeah, I absolutely love that movie, and I do not understand the problem with it at all. And it's one that I would go nuts if someone announced that thing. And someone did once on DVD, and I had it pre-ordered from Amazon. It got canceled, never came out. So I don't know what the story is with that one, but it's a great movie if you guys haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's been on my list for a long time. Hearing about that movie since like the early YouTube days of people showing that. Was it ever on official DVD or was it just bootleg DVDs? Yeah, yeah. I remember people showing that, and kind of just the name just has always stuck in my head, and I still have yet to watch it. So maybe I'll have to find it on like a website where somebody maybe uploaded a bad copy of it or something.
Yeah, I think you guys like it. I mean, again, it's not a slasher, so I know a lot of people might go into it thinking that it's not. But it's cool. It takes place at a summer camp, and what's the guy's name there from Tourist Trap there? Collins or whatever. What's his name there? The big guy?
Oh, Chuck Connors?
Chuck Connors, yeah. He's in it. He's like the main head of the camp or whatever. And it's got some actors that you guys know from a lot of 80s movies, a lot of kids. It's really good, though. Really good one.
The old curly, I think it was What is the Worst? Did we answer that? What is the worst horror movie? I've completely.
Yeah, we kind of just made some jokes and then just kind of like crossed off.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
No, you said the Fog remake. I think.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, you did. Yeah, because you were talking about like one of the worst like on the roads that you guys did. So yeah, you kind of answered. I mean, I guess I don't know if all of us. I couldn't really think of like. I mean, oh no, yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Yeah, then we talked about that. Okay.
I'll say this though, that was one of the only movies that I've ever seen where I wanted to leave about 30 minutes before it was over with. Like, I've never walked out of a movie, but I was like, I could just remember turning to him and being like, do you want to leave? Like, I mean, it's not going to get any better. I know we're in the shit right now, but like, I feel like it's not going to turn around, you know?
That's funny.
Evidently, O'Curley was listing his favorite movies.
Yeah,
I missed it, man. I didn't see it. If you guys
maybe you just thought he was putting the worst movies out there, and you were thinking that maybe you didn't know.
I was putting them together.
Yeah. Somebody said the reason he wanted to know what our worst movies was because he was wanting to check them out.
Probably.
It'll be his favorite tomorrow.
I haven't heard of any of these. All right, I'm gonna go watch them.
It's brutal.
Yeah, he just put it back in the chat there on the list.
Oh, okay.
I would say.
Jesus, that's a hell of a list, Curly Jaws.
I haven't seen the new VHS. Has anybody seen that?
It's VHS 1995.
I never saw it.
He's got Return to Sleepaway Camp in there.
Yeah, the New York Ripper's on there.
Return.
Well, the New York Ripper's a good one.
That might be the only legitimate one he's got on there.
Yeah, DeadPIT put him over that one, you know.
So wait, is VHS 94? That just came out, didn't it?
Yeah, I think that's on. It might be on.
Is that no good?
Damn.
It was okay.
I heard it was just okay. I mean, I actually liked VHS 2. That was like the one I actually kind of liked a little bit. It had some interesting segments on there, but I fell off after that one. So
I thought the first two were pretty good. I don't remember anything about the third one. But yeah, I haven't seen this new one.
An Adam 80s fan loves Scream 1981 more than any person should.
Damn.
I haven't watched that movie in a long time.
It
I have
just
like
goes-
the old
yeah.
Code Red DVD or whatever, whoever put it out before.
There's somebody out there that likes everything. Like there's
Oh, yeah.
there's a,
Audience for everything.
I guess.
I guess,
Jeez.
yeah. That's the thing too. Like even when I saw like the newest Resident Evil movie and over on my channel, like it was most people like there were certain people that liked it, but most diehard fans did not like that. And I was like, the people that liked it, I was like, look, you're to each their own, but I just don't understand how some people can like some of the video game adaptations that always get shit on and misused, and it's so offensive to like the hardcore fans, So yeah, that was the whole thing.
That movie had going for it was it definitely captured the look of like the first two games.
In my opinion, that's the only thing it did. Yeah,
100%. That's all it did. It was a disaster.
It's
other than
just
that,
so, and it's like, dude, like, why did you have to make it 2 games in one movie?
Right.
You should have did the Spencer Mansion and then
Yep.
the Raccoon City stuff in a following movie. And instead, he's just like, no, it's going to be like, what did he compare it to? Johannes Roberts was comparing it to like the, I forget, like Assault on Precinct 13. Like he was trying to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna make it to where it's gonna be like jumping around and doing, and it's like, dude, by the time the movie's over, I'm like, what just happened? Because you guys just like forced all this crap and fan service stuff. You thought that was gonna survive it. Yeah, man, that was a big disappointment in the past.
I totally agree. I was hyped for that movie too because I'm
Me
like,
too.
okay, this is what they should have done, like from the beginning.
Yeah, man, I agree. And George A. Romero was supposed to. I'm actually working on a video right now talking about like his influence into Resident Evil. Resident Evil wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Romero.
He was
so
going to do the
on
first feature film. There was a George Romero script.
It's out there online, and guess what? It takes place in the Spencer Mansion.
Yeah,
it's the first game, and that was it. And he actually did some good things in that script, but Capcom, fired him, and that was it.
You know who really got it right though? Uwe Boll.
Oh,
sorry, I had to say that.
That's great. Uwe Boll.
Will he ever come out of retirement? That's what everybody's wanting to know.
We're waiting for a new one, right? At this point.
As far as Resident Evil goes, I just remember like I bought those steel books that Walmart had when they were Walmart exclusives. Like I don't know what year that was, but those are pretty good looking steel books. Like whether you like the movies or not, like I think those are pretty badass. I think
they go for some money too. Them and the Best Buy pop art ones they go for some money. And I try to grab. I think I only have one through Extinction on Walmart. I don't know if they did anything after that, but yeah,
they did Afterlife. They did Afterlife.
Okay, so that's the one I'm missing then. So I gotta try to hunt that down. Now I'm gonna be like, I gotta get even though I don't like the movies in the Paul Anderson 6 film, shit. I actually kind of like the first 3 a little bit, like even though they're kind of like off. I think after that, when it got into the 3D shit, it was when it got too overblown. So
I have that Afterlife one. I think I saw that in the theater, and then I saw Extinction in the theater as well.
Yeah.
Does Dracula really turn into a grasshopper in Dracula 3D?
I mean, yeah, that happens. But I think you're missing the point. So, just real quick, to defend myself.
He's got to defend.
I didn't say I liked the movie. I said the movie was not as bad as everyone fucking always goes on about. There's a big difference.
I heard that you said you liked it.
It's a watchable movie. I give it like a 5 out of 10. It's not as bad as everybody talks about. Yes, maybe Dracula turns into a grasshopper. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe it's a cricket. I don't know for sure. But it's one of the odder parts of the film.
What's better, Dracula 3D or the new Elm Street remake?
Oh God, I could watch Dracula 3D 100 times.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm with Adam, 80s fan. I'm sure Garrett's all about Prayer of the Roller Boys on Blu-ray. That would be a good one. That would be a good Vinegar Syndrome release right there.
How come someone hasn't put that out? Is there rights issues with that one? Like,
who knows? Half of Corey Haim's library hasn't hit friggin' anything. So, like, what about like Fast Getaway 1 and 2, Dream Machine? Like, where are those? They've only been on VHS. They're on Tubi.
Just one of the girls may have a hard time getting released.
Yeah, they're not gonna touch that one. So, yeah,
I don't see that happening.
No.
But guys, I appreciate everybody joining us on here. We're right at the 2-hour mark But yeah, we'll definitely try to get back into doing these on a regular basis. At least me and Uncle Bill, because there's a chance this might be Garrett's very last live stream with us. You know, he may lose the upcoming. We're hoping not. So, how do they need to vote, Garrett? Tell them. Tell them, Garrett.
What you're gonna do is you're gonna go to tinyurl.com/vote2berad. There's a video that's gonna pop up for new horror YouTuber of the month of April, and you're just gonna go in the comments section and put "Born to be Rad," and that's how you cast your vote. So I'm nominated for that. They will be picking the winner at the end of the week. So we have like 5 days or so to try to clinch it. So I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the week. And I appreciate you guys if you went and voted. So thank you. And the link should be in the description of the videos. So check it out. Shoot me a vote.
Well, I think the deal is
if you don't vote, you're a jabroni.
Yeah.
The mayor says, "Nice knowing."
God, he's hardcore, not. Jesus.
Damn it.
We're going to sweeten the pot a little bit, though. Make sure everybody votes, because we were talking about this today. Friday the 13th is coming up in May, right? And people are wanting to know what in the fuck are we going to do on Friday the 13th. We're going to do the first. Yeah, if he wins, we are ranking. Well, Garrett is ranking the Friday the 13th movies. He's going to be the first one to do it. So ranking is like a big fucking thing.
They're going to shit on my rankings.
People like tier lists and rankings. That's like a big thing.
Yeah, I don't particularly like ranking shit, but I'm all about, you know, I mean that's what's popular, so we're gonna fucking do it.
To switch it up.
Kids like.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be. Now let me just get the rules on how this works. Is it just it's your own personal ranking, not necessarily like which film you think is the best made, correct? It's your own personal enjoyment.
Right. Your favorite.
And then you can shit on me or whatever based on where certain things are on the list. Yeah,
yeah, and that's always.
So if I win, that'll be the next.
That's how it works.
Big show. Yeah, that'll be the next big show. But
people get on there and be like, "God damn it! I love Jason Goes to Hell. You piece of shit!"
Anthony, am I seeing you this weekend, brother?
Yeah, man. I should be there sometime Saturday. I'm just gonna go there for a day though, and then I'll be going up with a couple friends. But yeah, man, I'll be checking out Chiller.
I'm gonna find you.
Cool.
Sounds good, man.
You guys will have to meet up. Oh, Curly Jaws, real quick. He's throwing us another bone here. Appreciate it. Oh, Curly Jaws. I don't know if any of us have seen.
Spent like $80 today, so
he really has. Legitimately,
he's excited about this show in particular. He could have joined us. What's wrong, Curly Jaws? He could have come on here.
That's a novel new idea, though. If people pay us to keep going like 5 minutes longer, I'm all for that. I am all for that. If you want to do that, like,
it'll be like a 24-hour stream.
It's like an encore.
5 more minutes. Bloody Bible Camp. No, I have not watched it as of yet.
No.
Amazing title.
That's pretty good title.
That's one that he references quite a bit. So I don't know where you can actually watch that at.
Does he have the one?
It may be one of those asylum movies or something.
Does he have a tattoo of it?
That'd be sick.
Possibly.
I do want to say one thing though, that CK and Uncle Bill, you guys, I did purchase the poster that is coming to both of you, or getting a poster that is like a homage to Tuesdays with Fulci. And I expect to see that shit on a live stream when you open it up. You're both getting your own one-time deal. So I want to see that shit being open, just like the Curly Jaws, the last one.
Oh, hell.
I think you guys are going to like it. I don't want to say too much about it, but it has to do with Tuesdays with Fulci. So.
Well, I'm looking forward to that then for sure.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, Tuesdays with Fulci is just the first season's done, but we're going to do another season.
The first season. I love this idea.
Cover Contraband and the Mud, and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to pitch it to
westerns.
Yeah, 4 of the Apocalypse and Massacre Time, stuff like that. You know, we'll do a western show, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of people viewing that. But
be doing Creaming on Cronenberg next or something. I gotta think of a name for that. I haven't been able to come up with a catchy name yet. But creaming on Cronenberg, I don't know, something to it.
I like
You
Cozy
could do
with
kinda works.
Cronenberg. I like that one.
Cozy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You could do like greetings from Asbury Park, but it's greetings from Cronenberg, and do that as the logo. You know,
That's
because
right.
Cronenberg sounds like a town. All right, boys.
Crohn's disease.
But,
I'm still hip on that one.
you don't want to make fun of people with Crohn's disease, though.
I'm not
They
really
already
making
have
fun of them as much as I'm just. It's a catchy name.
They
It's
have
a
it rough
double.
enough. They're afraid to go out in the road. Afraid to.
Uh-oh.
Bedtime.
Oh,
Oh, there
God.
it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's the end.
Went
That's
past it.
One more time.
It's past bedtime.
All right.
It's bedtime.
All right, boys. I gotta go. But,
Thanks for having me.
amazing.
it's been fun, guys, and like I said, we will try to do this on a more regular basis. It's been a couple months since we've done one of these, but also we're doing a review show at some point this week. X and Basket Case are the movies, and we will catch you guys then. And we might catch Garrett on Friday the 13th. We might not. Who's to say? Let's ask Tom Atkins.
Who's to say? Thank you, guys. Thanks for
guys.
everything.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night, and we'll catch you next time on DeadPit.com.
Later,
Give us
guys.
the thumbs up.
See y'all. Up you butt.
Like, people, subscribe. And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right? And it'll notify you anytime that Dead Pit puts up new shit.
Or don't. I really don't give a if you do or
I
don't.
want you to. I want you to.
I don't care.
Let's keep our community growing here on YouTube.
I don't like it. I don't want you to touch nothing.
Listen, they need to do that, pal.
No, don't you
Yeah.
dare touch it.
Thumbs up. Subscribe. And click that bell.
For this video officially, it's Oak Curlyjaws has a message for you. Go on over to shop.deadpit.com and go look at their Team Public store right now. You got some new shirts like the Oak Curlyjaws official t-shirt, which is brutal and badass. You got the Yummy Gummy shirt with the captain himself on the shirt. You got Uncle Bill's face on a fucking shirt. You got the Final Girl shirt. You got all these shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Get them before they're all out, especially the new one, Bedtime 1039. It doesn't get better than that, so go on out. Check out these shirts at shop.deadpit.com. Go look at their Team Public store. You're going to have a good old time. Get them all.
Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. Deadpit on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old Dead Pit radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows and fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. Dead Pit on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.